What's going on, everyone? Mitesh here, and guys, today I want to talk about my experience with the Pixel 7 Pro after 1 week of using it and coming from the Pixel 6 Pro, which has been my daily phone for the past year now. So let's talk about the Pixel 7 Pro and how it improves on this phone right here. All right, so let's start off by talking about the thing that really matters when you buy a Pixel phone, and that is, of course, the cameras. Now, it may not matter personally to you, but it is one of those things that makes a Pixel phone is the cameras. Now, the cameras here are hardware-wise not too much improved. There are some new cameras on here, but software-wise, they've actually improved quite a bit. Now, one of the biggest problems I had with the Pixel 6 Pro in terms of like video recording was the fact that the video recording was limited to 4K 30 frames per second from all cameras. You could only get 4K 60 frames per second from the main camera, and that was it. I know it's not that big of a deal. Not everybody's shooting in 4K 60, but fact is, phones have been offering this. Like my Galaxy S21 here, which I still have, this phone came out 2 years ago. Every single camera on this can record at 4K 60 frames per second. So the fact that now finally Pixel 7 Pro, every single camera on here can record at 4K 60 frames per second. I mean, it's table stakes, but I'm happy that it's here now. Like from the chosen platform that I've, want to use. I'm happy that it's finally here. The fact that the Tensor G2 makes it possible, because this is still not updated. This phone can still only record 4K 60 from the main camera. I'm just really happy that it's here now for all of these cameras right now. So that is one way the phones have really improved. Now, they also include 10-bit HDR recording. I haven't personally used it too much because I don't have too many devices I can watch that video back on. I will probably record it because I know in the future there'll be tons of devices that support it, so probably good to just be backward compatible. But right now, since I mainly edit in SDR, I will probably continue sticking to SDR videos for now. And for personal videos, I'll probably stick to HDR. So just if you're getting this phone, know that it can record HDR. Oh, also, the HDR recording is limited to 4K 30. So it's improved, the cameras are improved, the video recording is improved, but not by a significant amount. Speaking of cameras, let's talk about some other features that have come to the camera. So first of all, the new front-facing camera supports Face Unlock. You see that little ring around it? That tells you that it's looking for my face, and to unlock it, if I just look at it, it'll go ahead and unlock. I don't have it to where it will skip the lock screen. So the front-facing camera can do Face Unlock now. There are no additional sensors, so it is just a photographic Face Unlock, which is not as secure as using a fingerprint reader, which, by the way, the fingerprint reader is improved. Now, I did not have a problem with the Pixel 6 Pro with fingerprint reader, so I'm not someone who was desperate to get a new fingerprint reader on this, but it does seem like it's improved. Like if you just tap it very lightly, the phone will unlock. Like before you used to be able to do this on the Pixel 6 Pro, but you can do it now on the Pixel 7 Pro, so the fingerprint reader is improved. Just FYI. But if you don't want to, we do have Face Unlock, which works well in good lighting, not so well in poor lighting. In poor lighting, you're pretty much going to have to go back to using the fingerprint reader, which, as I said, is improved, so that's a plus. Other camera features. So also the front-facing camera can do 4K 60. That's great. One other thing that's missing from Pixel cameras, now that I'm just complaining about Pixel cameras, you can't switch between the front-facing camera and the rear-facing cameras. I don't know why while you're recording. Again, Samsung, 2-year-old phone, can do that, but somehow the Google phone, the Pixel 7 Pro, the brand new latest flagship, you can only switch between the rear cameras when you're recording in 4K 60 frames per second. You can't switch to the front-facing one. It's very much a niche feature. Like, not everybody's gonna want this, but having more features is not. I never think of that as a real negative unless they start getting super gimmicky. Speaking of gimmick, though, let's talk about the new feature coming to this called Cinematic Blur. Cinematic Blur is hot garbage. I do not like it. It is not good. It can be good, but there are so many limitations to it. One, it records only in 1080p. Two, you can't control the amount of blur. It is just like this super artificial blurring of your background, and it is not good. You guys can take a look at the sample right here. To me, I just don't think Cinematic Blur is worth using. Oh, the other limitation, again, only be able to use it with the main camera. Can't use it with any other, so I don't even know why they bothered. Like, just wait till you have it good and then release a feature. Just a thought. But anyway, so that is a new feature. Another new feature, let's talk about some new hardware. So the ultra-wide camera is improved. Now it has autofocus. So you can use that ultra-wide camera to get macro photography, and it will do it so that you can, if you get close enough with the main camera, it'll automatically switch to the ultra-wide and switch you into macro mode. You can also turn that off and just use the ultra-wide, and when you get close, it's up to you. The telephoto went from a 4x to a 5x now. Not a ton of improvement there, but it is nice to have. They've also done it so that the main camera and the telephoto now you can do a 2x where we'll do a crop of the main sensor and then do some processing to make it look better. So you can basically get 1x, 2x, then 4x, or 5x, and 10x. So you can act like you have those lenses. It's still not a true, it's not a replacement for a true lens, but it is there, and it actually doesn't look that bad. And those are pretty much all the camera improvements, at least the ones that I care to use. Oh, no, another camera improvement, thanks to the Tensor G2, night sight is significantly faster. Like, it went from just taking forever to take some really dark photos to going pretty fast. And they also give you a little toggle so you can control it, so that's really, really nice. Yeah, and that is all the camera features right there. So if you're interested in camera features, I would say that this is actually a big improvement over the Pixel 6 Pro. Now in terms of photos and things, you're still getting very similar processing on all that. I still really, really like Pixel processing. I think the photos coming out of this are just fantastic. For the most part, this basically replaces any time I think about bringing my big camera. So huge ups for this phone in terms of cameras. All right, so next up, let's talk about some of the other things that are improved. Now, first of all, obviously the phone. To me, the Pixel 7 Pro, this phone right here, this phone just looks significantly better than this phone right here. Now, I never hated how the Pixel 6 Pro looked, and after a while, it obviously grew on me. But now, after you see what the Pixel 7 Pro looks like, this is just such a refinement over what the Pixel 6 Pro looked like. Like, I like the fact that it's just a single color versus the two-tone. I didn't mind the two-tone. I don't hate it, but it's kind of nice to just have a single color. And then the fact that the camera bar, the camera visor here, is all one piece of metal and it goes seamlessly into the side frame is fantastic. The other thing they've changed physically is that the curves on the screen are a little bit less curvy. So you have a little bit more metal on the sides, which is nice. It makes the phone a little bit easier to grip. But yeah, otherwise there's not too many things that have changed. The other thing that they changed was like previously you had this giant piece of plastic on top for the millimeter wave antenna for the 6 Pro. On 7 Pro, there is like this little tiny cutout at the top over here that's also plastic. But yeah, that's just for the millimeter wave antenna. Otherwise, there really isn't too much of an improvement in terms of hardware. You again get 12 gigabytes of RAM, the Tensor G2 processor. It doesn't benchmark much better than the Tensor G1 processor, but again, it does allow for things like the features with the cameras because they've improved on the camera pipeline and have made it better. It's still not as good as other manufacturers, like, for example, Apple. They have a much better dedicated video pipeline, but it has improved and it's gotten significantly better in just one generation, which I was surprised by. I really didn't think that this year we're going to get a really big leap. And what I also understand is it's better thermally managed, although I haven't tested it too much with gaming yet, so I can't speak about that. It is also more power efficient. So I've noticed that the battery on this thing, which is the same size battery on this, it lasts longer on this phone than it does on the 6 Pro. So battery life went from being just about a day for me on the Pixel 6 Pro to being slightly more than a day. So it'll take me to the end of the day with like 15 to 20% battery, which I know isn't great, especially for a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but it's better than nothing. And I'm actually pretty happy with how it is right now. And I'm very inconsistent with my charging, so I still need some more time to figure out if the battery is actually better or if I just feel like it's better. So yeah, I still have a lot more testing to do with this phone. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments. I'm going to make some more short videos about this, especially covering some of those features of the camera. So yeah, with that, that's pretty much it for this video. Like this one if you liked it, subscribe if you guys loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.